Hi, everybody. Welcome to the award ceremony of the MLOps for Good Hackathon. I'm Asaf. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Iguazio, and I'm really excited to kick off this ceremony following 6 weeks of working in this amazing hackathon with all the purpose of bringing social good in different spaces, in healthcare, in social activities, and finding, detecting deep fake across the internet and identifying that. We'll get into the list of different activities that were there. But first, I want to thank our partners, Microsoft and MongoDB, that together we've built this concept of having the hackathon and enabling the different players with the necessary technology for that. We also partnered with 12 different communities across different places in the world, global communities, all in machine learning and data science. And we thank them. We'll see their names coming on later on. Just to recap, the hackathon actually involved 300 participants from everywhere in the globe, from all the way from New Zealand and Australia through Pakistan, Malaysia, Philippines, in Europe, several places, and of course, US and Canada. We really, we've seen projects that within those projects we had global teams. One of them was women from 5 different countries that participated in this. So virtual teams in these crazy times that people can mainly interact virtually. It was also encouraging to see this kind of collaboration going on. We had 30 projects that were submitted, and each one is exciting on its own. We had the judges were very busy. We'll see them in a few minutes. They were very busy in selecting the winning one. Of course, we had clear criteria on how to select them. Following the introductions, we will have 2 keynote speakers from our partners at Microsoft and MongoDB. So Boris Bialik, the Global Head of Enterprise and Modernization at MongoDB, will be speaking, and also Tumor Simon, who is the Chief Scientist at the Israel R&D Center at Microsoft. Both of them will be giving talks before we announce the winners. We had some amazing stories throughout the hackathon with, I think I touched upon the all-women team. We had a team that is actually 2 twins that both of them are data scientists and delivered a project. We even had kids, the next generation of data scientists that are already are aware and already trying to do good for society. So with all that excitement, and really I would like to thank our partners, both on the commercial side, Microsoft and MongoDB, and all the communities that joined us, and the judges. I'd like to thank, and of course, the participants in the hackathon. I'd like to thank everybody for participating and for doing social good. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to Sahar, who will tell us what's happening now.
Thanks, Asaf. It's so exciting to be here with all of you and to celebrate all these amazing projects that were submitted to the MLOps for Good Hackathon. When we started off a couple weeks ago, we had no idea how much traction we would get and how many innovative projects and very talented people would join in on this cause. And we're very lucky to have had some really amazing expert judges who have taken time away from their busy schedules to review the 30 projects that were submitted by this worldwide team that Asaf was describing. It's such an honor to have such an experienced and diverse panel of judges here with us today. So I'd like to start by letting them tell you a little bit about themselves, and we'll start with Cecile.
Yes. Hi, everyone. So my name is Cecile Bellius, and I'm the Head of Impact and Sustainability for Pitango Venture Capital. We're based in Israel, and we're a mainstream VC that invests in Israeli tech companies, including Iguazio. And it was really, for me, a great pleasure to judge this hackathon and participate in mentoring it and designing it. It's been quite remarkable to see so many people from across the globe cooperating. And I really do want to congratulate you for bringing in your talent, your time, for others. This is truly remarkable and also, I think, a very, very positive and important experience. So I think that you'll find that this felt really good. It does feel good to do good, certainly if you can do this within your own skill set and your own abilities. And I think that one big lesson that we'd like you to take out of this hackathon is that you can direct your talent and your abilities and your career into doing good by doing what you do best. And this hackathon was supposed to show you that. So you've created amazing projects, over 30 projects, who are all in different domains, but all with a single quest, and that is to do good for other people around the world. And that's really remarkable. So I want to thank you and congratulate you, and congratulate ahead of time the winners, which you'll see soon, and really urge you to seek the place where you can do good while doing well. And good luck with that. That's truly amazing.
Thank you, Cecile, for that inspiring message. Next up, I'd like to welcome Greg Hayes, Director of Data Science at Ecolab. Greg.
Hi, everyone. My name is Greg Hayes. I lead the technology stack for data science at Ecolab. I was really interested in seeing what the contestants, participants would do in this competition, because there's so much opportunity for social good when you look at the application of machine learning, artificial intelligence. Additionally, I think that MLOps is really the next frontier for bringing data science products into production. We see that a lot of individuals have been able to build machine learning models under local machines, but getting them out and integrating them into products where they can have an impact on the world is really the next step in the maturity of AI and machine learning. So seeing how different teams, different individuals would tackle that problem was really quite fascinating. And I think everyone should be congratulated for the novel approaches that they take to solving those problems. There's no one single way to solve these problems. There are many ways, and I think as we kind of go down this path as an organization, as a group, we'll discover the patterns that are the most efficient and effective, and therefore be able to have the biggest impact on the world. So again, congratulations to everyone. Thank you for all of the work that you did in this process, and I hope you found it as gratifying as I did.
Thanks so much, Greg. Next up, I'd like to welcome Orit, our co-founder and VP Architecture.
Hi, everyone. I'm Orit. I'm the co-founder and VP Architecture in Iguazio. It was very exciting to see all the different projects focusing on social good and the collaboration between the different group members and how they were built up in order to accomplish that. So all projects were very impressive and good to have you on board.
Thanks, Orit. Next, I'd like to welcome Nick Brown, Senior Data Scientist at Market. Nick.
Hi, everyone. Like Sahar said, my name is Nick Brown. I'm a Senior Data Scientist at IHS Markit. I've been focused in MLOps for the last 2 years, actually. And it was really exciting to see this hackathon come around for a number of reasons. In general, MLOps is a newer idea for the community. It was exciting to see how many individuals would take to it, and then how quickly people who were not already familiar would pick it up. Another really great thing about this competition was seeing projects at the end of it that could be immediately deployed. Kaggle is obviously a great platform as well, but at the end of that, it's really just a model file. Typically, these were all real-time endpoints behind applications. Just really, really exciting, as that's typically the hardest part of a project actually generating value. So thank you everybody who participated for sharing your skills and really helping each other, and really excited to see all of this progress.
Thanks so much, Nick. Next, I'd like to invite Yaron Haviv, co-founder and CTO at Iguazio.
Hi, guys. So thanks, everyone, for participating. I reviewed many of the project, and initially when we discussed between myself, Nick, Greg, and the other judges, and we weren't sure that we're not going to get a lot of projects that are very Kaggle oriented, very, just showing a data science. And we're happy to see that people actually made the extra mile of thinking of MLOps and thinking of how to deploy those projects into something real. We've seen people even doing like front end project. We'll see some of the projects in a minute that couples all the aspects of training, and some teams even did retraining and using multiple models. So these are usually the biggest hurdle in a machine learning project, is turning something that, like in Kaggle, you have a nice notebook, but it doesn't really work as an application. And the real challenge is how do you translate that into some real pipeline, runs in containers and automated workflows and all that. And we're very glad to see that most of the teams actually did that. And it was very hard for us to choose between the project, especially like the third place was very crowded. This is why we essentially decided to also come with sort of a bonus prize for the places 4, 5, and 6, because there was very tight match between the different projects. So we did recognize three projects that we didn't make it to the finalists, but the brain tumor detection project, the heart disease prevention project, and the Brazil project. They all did MLOps. They all did great work, but so they were missing on a couple of points, and they're going to receive a voucher of $500 from MongoDB for using the Atlas service.
Yeah, and I'm going to pause you there for a second. Don't give it away yet. We just want to introduce the rest of the judges, and we'll let you announce the winners in a second. So just hang on tight. Next up, I'd just like to welcome Anna Anisim, founder of Data Science Salon, to say a couple words. Anna, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. It's really great to be here. Thank you so much for having me be part of the judges. MLOps is one of the newest categories in the space and one of the fastest growing, and it is in our data science salon community. And it was really great to see all the projects, and it was definitely hard to pick the top 3. There was some really great applications, and just seeing how global the whole teams were, it was really inspiring. So I hope that you do more of these, Iguazio. Thank you so much for having me be part of this.
Thanks so much, Anna. And last but not least, I'd like to welcome Adi, VP of Product at Iguazio.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Adi from Iguazio, and I'm very excited to see this hackathon going on, because unlike many hackathons, this one is not about finding the best algorithm and the best model. This one is really about how you can deploy machine learning models in production, how you can actually bring those services that are based on machine learning to life. And this is very aligned with what we're trying to do here in Iguazio, to bring basically the machine learning pipelines into real production, and this is what it's all about. So it's very exciting to see so many projects, so many people that were participating in those projects, and as the other judges said, it was very, very difficult to see who's going to win, and it was a very close competition. So I'm really excited about this. Thanks everyone for participating. Back to you, Sal.
Thank you, Adi. And at this point, we'd like to share with you a couple of the projects that made it into the finals. The teams themselves have prepared short videos to introduce themselves and introduce their projects. And we'll take a look at 5 of these finalists right now. We'll start with the AI Wonder Girls ICU Ops project.
Hi there. Welcome to the AI Wonder Girls project on how to alleviate ICU overloads from COVID-19 using machine learning ops, or MLOps. Meet the AI Wonder Girls team. The AI Wonder Girls happen to be an all-women's team from various corners of the globe. It is diverse in culture and professional backgrounds, and we all have expertise in artificial intelligence and data science.
So the problem arises when due to COVID, ICUs were overloaded and it became hard decision who need more urgent help. Our approach is automate patient data set so that doctor would be able to prioritize the patient who need more urgent help. Through research, we figured out like diabetes and COVID has strong relationship, so it is dire need to deal with with diabetes patients with more attention. The dataset we have chosen is MIT's Gauss's initiative that is 24-hour dataset ICU reading. So dealing null value was one of the major challenges because filling them with zero and mean was not the easy or good decision. Dropping feature could cause losing important participatory feature and tried various transformation and pre-processing methods that resulted in 524 features. We apply deep learning, LGBM, and XGB boost model along with explainability and inference were done on that model and whether the patient has diabetes type 2 or not. MLRun solution provide us was aligned with the scope because that was reliable. It was helping us to automate the patient to speed up the diagnosis process, and then it was aligned with SDG's goal of healthcare and well-being. And the last, not the least, is interpretability that answers how they work, safety, and contestability of the algorithm. Thank you.
This project has 2 parts to it, the NLP and the prediction model. The NLP aims to bring the diabetes risk highlighted in COVID-19 research study. It has components like LDA, topic model, and question answering system. The prediction model is built with the ICU patient data with based on models like LGBM, XGB, and explainability using SHAP. So these are the NLP datasets and the Kaggle datasets used for the prediction model. This is a prediction model which is trained, and this is the NLP workflow. This is the complete pipeline. So let us get into the demo part. Let us go into the NLP part of the code. So this is the training of the BERT function. So the BERT function, the model we have downloaded, and it is custom trained. It is fit to the custom data, and which is saved as a joblib file. So we go to the serving function. Here, a serving function is written on top of the Q&A BERT model, which gives us serving and provides the REST API to the user interface. So let us go into the prediction model part. So here the serverless functions are written for data pre-processing, training the model using LGBM, and the serving on top of the LGBM model. So these are the serverless functions for the prediction model. So finally, a workflow is written taking all the project functions. So these are the project functions that are taken here, and the workflow is Kubeflow is written based on Kubeflow is written here. This is what we will run to get the entire flow. So this is the complete workflow, which has all the serverless functions built on MLRun. Now let us go to the UI part. So this is the UI that has been built, which has both the NLP and the prediction part. So this is the NLP analysis on the data, the LDA and the word cloud. Basically, it shows all the factors that are associated with diabetes. This is the Q&A model. Here we can type a question, and the answer comes from the research study papers. So let us type a question here. What are the COVID complications for diabetes patients? And let us see what the answers the system will retrieve. So these are the answers. Like we asked what are the complications. So these are the complications that is listed in the research study. So let us come into prediction model. We can give a patient data and run the model inference for diabetes prediction. So it says that this patient does not have the diabetes. These are the details of the models that we developed, the SHAP summary plot, and these are the parameters that are influencing, these are the features that are influencing the model.
Make it easier to update the pipeline, we built GitHub CI/CD actions. So you can simply change things into workflow.py. Let's say, for example, you have new ingested data and you want to retrain your model. Simply update workflow.py, then push the actual branch as a pull request and type /run Then you will get the statues when it has started running and all the statues after it has finished it. You can also check it out, all the changes in GitHub Actions. And all of these things, the messages of it starting and finishing are sent to the Slack as well, if you want to check them.
Next up, we're going to take a look at a brain tumor detection app that was submitted by Visual Velocity. Next up, we have a team fighting deepfakes with Deepfake Shield.
Hello everyone. This presentation showcases our project Deepfake Shield. The problem that we are tackling is the emerging use of deepfakes to create malicious content and fake news on the internet. There's never been a better time for predators online to abuse people by using their deepfakes to exploit their identity. And to take a step towards solving that problem, we trained and deployed a model to help detect deepfakes from images. Given below is a brief summary of our project. Feel free to pause and take a closer look. Deepfake Shield has been deployed live on the web. Anybody can access it from the link we've provided. Before we talk about how we've built it, let us have a live demo of the app. MLRun has played a critical role in the genesis of this project. We've primarily used it for data pre-processing, hyperparameter search, and training the model. Coming to the dataset and the model we used a customized version of the Deepfake Detection Challenge dataset and the Flickr Faces HQ dataset for training our model. The prediction pipeline that we've built involves a pre-trained Blazeface model for extracting faces and a custom implementation of efficient net that we trained to classify the extracted faces. When pre-processing the data, plot artifacts helped us visualize a bias in the dataset. We found that the number of real images is much lower than that of the number of fake images. This was fixed by inflating the number of real faces using the Flickr Faces HQ dataset. Finding suitable training hyperparameters manually can be quite tedious. We automated this process by using the with hyperparams method, which made the process of finding ideal hyperparameters and keeping proper logs effortless. MLRun enabled us to track all of our training logs and artifacts through different versions under one simple function. This enabled us to spend more time on prototyping instead of having to worry about keeping track of our experiments. On a side note, our web app works both on PCs and smartphones. And that brings me to the end of this presentation. Thank you.
Next up, we'll take a look at Team Iguazio, what a fabulous name, with their debris and waste classification service.
Hi there, I am Amy, a text-to-speech bot, and welcome to the walkthrough of how we built the app, Iguazio. As you can see, we have used Azure clusters provided Iguazio team. Under Projects page, we've created experiments to test out the capabilities of MLRun and Nucleo, serverless framework. Inside Waste Classifier, you can see the models, jobs, and functions that were created using MLRun. It was all made possible by running Python code within Jupyter notebooks included under Iguazio services. Based on the dashboard, we needed a download job to get all the data from Kaggle and into a dedicated cloud storage. There is also a training job that made use of Horovard to teach our model to identify and classify images. We also made use of Nucleo to easily deploy a serving functionality that can receive HTTP requests using Postman, as you will see later. Lastly, we've combined a very simple pipeline that ran 2 jobs successfully. However, we have encountered a cause error for the served endpoint. This happened when a browser application tries to access a remote endpoint. We fixed the issue by creating an API gateway proxy in AWS. And finally, we test the functionality by creating a simple Angular application that detects whether the image is organic or recyclable. That's all for now. Thank you for watching.
Finally, we're going to take a look at a suicide post detection project.
Hello everyone, I am here to present my project on suicide post detection. Introduction. Suicide might be considered as one of the most serious social health problems in modern society. Every year, almost 800,000 people commit suicide. Many factors can lead to suicide. For example, personal issues such as hopelessness, severe anxiety, impulsiveness, social factors, and previous suicide attempts, etc. So we propose a solution using machine learning algorithm on textual datasets. Early detection and treatment are regarded as one of the most effective ways to prevent suicidal ideation and potential suicide attempts. In this project, we propose a solution for early detection of suicidal thoughts for social media posts. We created an API to expose our model, trained model, which can be used for the detection of suicidal severity of social media post. This API takes text post as input and predict whether the post contains suicidal thoughts or it is neutral, and tag them accordingly. We created our ML machine learning pipeline using MLRun library. Here is the MLRun pipeline flowchart. We have explained each and every step in detail in our project. Please refer to our GitHub repo and dev post project or dev post project to understand each step in detail. Demo time. So before starting demo, please take a look at the project details so as to better understand the demo. So the demo is divided into 3 parts: testing deployed pipeline on Heroku server, retraining of model using dataset collected at inference time, retraining the model using bulk dataset. So let's hop up to the Heroku server. So here you can see you can use this link to test by yourself also. We have created this front end to demonstrate the applicability of our model. We also included some examples. You can see here. We can copy these and use for the testing of our API. Let's paste it here and start and submit it. As you can see, our model has predicted this post as a societal. So let's take another example. Again, you can see our model has predicted the post as a neutral. Now let's take a look at retraining demo using the dataset stored during the testing time. So as you can see here, I have started the Flask server before, so as to save some of the time that is used in the retraining of the model. So let's use our API locally hosted 2 times. So here it is. So the same example, let's take this example and use it 2 times. Now let's take a look at the backend. You can see we have entered a limit of 2. After which, we have defined a limit of 2 samples, after which the model will train again. So as you can see that our pipeline has started again. The dataset is being fetched, is being stored to MongoDB Atlas, and the fetch API has started. Here you can see the data transformation has begun. Now the training has begun. MLRun helps us to take cognizance of this log so that we are not focused on the pipeline issues. We can focus on making our model better. Once the model training is done, the pipeline itself chooses the best model suited for our problem. So as you can see here, it has selected SCT as the model. So now we can easily use our newly trained model. Now let's take a look at another retraining example that can be used by doing a bulk training. So let's go to the API. /bulk training. So you can see here that we have a similar UI. We can choose a CSV file. I have chosen this testing file. This testing file contains 10 different samples. Now you will see after submitting, you will see that in the backend it will take step by step and upload those samples to the MongoDB Atlas, and then the pipeline start again, and the retraining of model will start again. Now let's take a look. As you can see here, it started pushing to the database. The 10 examples have been pushed to the database, and the ML pipeline has started again. Yeah, as you can see here, the data is being fetched from the MongoDB Atlas database. And now the data transformation has begun. In a similar process as we have seen in the previous one. After that, the model will be trained again. Both model will be trained again, and the best model will be chosen for this system. All our codes are available. All our code that we have used here are available on GitHub, and the documentation and explanations are also available on the post project as well as on GitHub. As you can see, when the training is completed, it will tell us that training is completed. All the project documentations are available here. You can see and what else we have done. Thank you for listening to this. Hope you like our project.
So now you can see why it was so difficult for our judges to make a decision. These are just 5 of the 30 projects that were submitted, and they were all very innovative and done by some very, very talented people. Now, as we prepare to announce the winners, we're delighted to have 2 guest speakers with us today. First up, I'd like to welcome Tumor Simon, Chief Scientist at the Microsoft Israel R&D Center, who will be telling us a little bit about Microsoft's AI for Good program. Tomer. I hope Tomer is here with us.
I'm here.
And here he is coming on. Tomer, the stage is yours.
So hi everyone, and very, very excited to be here, especially the topic MLOps for Good or AI for Good. For the last more than 2 years, I've been working on AI for Good projects because I think this is one of the things that we can do as high-tech companies or AI experts to really drive social SDG impact. And the projects that were submitted and were conducted during this hackathon are truly amazing and inspiring. I think you just saw 5 out of numerous projects, and the potential is amazing. So I'm just trying to share my presentation. It's jumping away all the time, so 1 second. And also the timing after or during also. It's a global crisis that we need to handle, and IT or AI through IT departments or through IT personnel or through people who just know information technology. We saw the amazing benefits that AI can bring to the world. And just 1 second, it's for some reason the windows are jumping here inside the share screen. 1 second. I'm going to try to catch it as fast as possible. So there is a dance of windows inside the sharing window. Okay, excellent. So I joined Microsoft around 2.5 years ago, and one of the things I took the lead on immediately in Israel is the AI for Good program of Microsoft. It's a global program that, again, as you saw also in the projects and the examples, it's really amazing the ability of how AI can augment us. And really the concept of AI is to take an information system technology and bring it or developing it human capabilities, physical for robotics, or of course cognitive or knowledge or inference, speech NLP for the AI part that's software based. And we know also that we need this augmentation for numerous reasons, but especially for the good part of it. And this is our belief in AI. It's really how do we amplify human ingenuity and bring it to scale? Because we know AI is already transforming industries, and during the coming decade, it will transform almost all industries. Just watching the last 4 years, more than 14 sectors have been positively impacted and augmented using AI. And this technology is how do we now leverage it to improve our world? And most of the leaders agree that this is the most advanced technology that humanity has ever developed and maybe will ever develop with the impact, with the global and cross-industry impact. We need to take care of the ethics. And here it's also when we apply AI for good, there are a lot of things that we should take care of: fairness, trustworthiness, the privacy of the people affected. We saw it in the medical cases. We saw it in scanning for let's call it self-harm cases. There are a lot of delicate issues that we need to take care, and also we know that we can do almost everything with AI. But the good thing that, and the most important thing that we should do is what we should do with AI, not what we can do with AI. And this is a very important aspect. And I want to present to you the AI for Good, the 5 pillars of the AI for Good of Microsoft. It's the CEO, Satya Nadella, has initiated this program around 3 years ago, and there's around more than $150 million behind it. And the 5 pillars are the AI for Earth, AI for accessibility, the humanitarian action, cultural heritage, and for health. The AI for health is the latest pillar to add that have been added during 2020. And these are the 5 pillars that Microsoft focuses on, the AI for good for the humanity. It's not only the SDG, it's all of the SDG points are covered here, but it's much more for us as humanity. And I want to give a few examples. So the AI for Earth, this is the most comprehensive plan, and it has the most budget. It's $50 million, and this budget is not for Microsoft. It's for you people. And one of the things that I would love to have is that the winners, or not even the winners, the people that want to proceed and acting upon the amazing ideas is to apply to the grants of the AI for Good program. And this year, just 2 months ago, we kicked off the second cohort of the AI for Good accelerator here in Israel with Microsoft for Startups. And next year, we'll open the third one, and hopefully the people who joined this amazing hackathon with Iguazio can apply and will happily accept you into this accelerator. The idea is to see on the 4 main challenges of humanity under the climate crisis. First, agriculture. We need more food. Population is exploding, and food is the current ways that we produce food are unsustainable. And we need to see how AI can really augment, whether it's precision agriculture or any other ideas that we need to solve with for food. Of course, water. Even though around 75% of Earth is covered with water, only less than 2% of all the water in the world can be drank by humans. So it means that we have a problem with water. Biodiversity, if we look just on the 20th century, 60% of all species have been gone extinct because of our actions. And of course, climate change. You just see the last 2 weeks what is going on around the world. Really extreme weather, and it's the volatility of the weather is being more and more intense and extreme. And of course, the cadence is changing and being much more frequent. So we need to see how we leverage it for our benefit. What Microsoft provides are the 3 main things. Increase the access, so we provide credits and money to use Azure and all the AI technologies of Microsoft. Education, a lot of courses, whether it's not only on AI, but also on these planetary issues. Microsoft is one of the leading companies, the multinational companies that have put this, the global crisis, the global climate crisis, as one of its top strategic pillars. And of course, how we fuel innovation. And the idea is to give you the ability to scale your solutions and your innovations by providing you access to markets, global markets. And here, Microsoft, of course, is one of the leaders in and giving you an option to use its more than 40,000 salespeople around the world to push your solutions globally. These are some examples. So WildMe is one of the things that one of the most successful projects is citizen science, because all of us, we have a smartphone and we photograph everything today. So using this WildMe application, if you're going on a trip, whether, by the way, even if in your city you see an animal, you take a picture, upload it through the application, It identifies the location, it identifies the animal, and then it enables the zoologists and climate and environmentalists to track the animals, to track the migration, to track even their presence. And you can see other projects. FarmBits is a precision agriculture project that started in India, and now it's scaled globally. It's an amazing technology to increase the productivity of farms and to use the resources, whether it's water, pesticides, or any other chemicals, much more precisely. This is one of the things that Land Cover, one of the tools that using Bing Maps and ESRI, how to see what is going on with the land cover, because land cover is one of the most critical problems for nations, but also for climate change and global warming. And this is an example from yesterday, really just you can see from July 19th that I've added. So one of the ideas was around waste management, and waste management is a critical issue. So this is a team that created a robot that collects cigarette butts on coasts, on shorelines on coast. You can see people throw 4.5 billion cigarette butts on beaches around the world. So it's our behavior, and they created an open source AI mechanism that you can connect on almost any robot with the mechanism, and it's also off-the-shelf technology, and you can create your own robot to protect your shores and your beaches in your country and expand the capability of providing us, of course, also the animals, but also us as people, a better experience. Of course, for accessibility, this is the second program. We have more than 1.4 billion people with disabilities around the world. And it's not only about the diversity, it's also the inclusion. And we need to see how we include them in all the processes and all daily activities and communication. And so around $25 million of credits and really grant money on daily life, employment, and communication. Again, as you saw, how do we put equality in opportunities and equality of access to jobs and employment? Daily life, how do we make it easier for people with disability to just go around? Because one of the research, very interesting but an eye-popping research that showed during the COVID-19 crisis in England, 97% of the e-commerce sites in England, in the UK, were not suitable or were not accessible to people with disabilities. So they were stuck at home, no one can move, and they cannot even buy anything online. So again, how can we use AI tools to make websites, even simple e-commerce sites, more accessible to improve the daily life? Employment, again, this is an AI chatbot that can help people with cognitive disabilities to communicate with possible employers and employment sites. We have the third one is the AI for Humanitarian Action. If you see, we reached an unfortunate historic record, 80 million refugees around the world. So this is the highest number since World War II. And so here there are $40 million in grants, and it's not only the refugees. It's for any disasters, any humanitarian action. Of course, how do we protect kids? Really the unprotected or the well-being, how do we ensure their safety during the crisis? And of course, human rights, the accessibility to human rights during a disaster. Because most of the emergency response organizations are global, and they come to a different country. They don't know the language, they don't know the rights, they don't know the current laws, and we can use AI to mediate and bridge these gaps and make sure that their rights and their human rights and their dignity is preserved. We're working with the largest organizations around the world, but again, it's open to individuals, to startups, to academia, researchers from the academia, and even to companies. Anyone could apply for these grants. This again, for as I mentioned, to make sure that they get their rights. And one of the last ones are the AI for cultural heritage. We have 200 countries, but we have more than 9,000 nationalities and languages around the world. How do we preserve them? How do we preserve our history? How do we preserve languages that are about to be extinct? In Israel, it's the Yiddish, but we have a lot of Native American languages that are going to be extinct, and we have it in Asia. So this is one example, and of course, how to provide access to historical sites. It's also for accessibility, but also for education, to promote the conservation of, as I mentioned, the language, but also for historical artifacts. If you see the museums, they have only a very limited space for real estate, and through AI and augmented reality, you can make their entire warehouse accessible and to provide it to people. And the last one is the AI for health. Healthcare, and of course, the COVID-19 crisis that still rages around the world is one of the main triggers or the main accelerants for this healthcare transformation, but it was a trend of the last years, and we'll see in the coming decade a real transformation in the healthcare precision medicine. And here, through AI, and we saw here 2 examples for brain tumors and for ICU. These are just 2 examples of critical issues, how we can amplify again human ingenuity and the doctors, but again, drug discovery and medical discovery, global health insights. How can we monitor with AI the emergence of new diseases or new variants, or what? And of course, how do we make sure that the equity and health and the access to health is preserved? This is one example of using AI in developing countries that through the smartphone you can provide with the doctors advanced AI and medical equipment that they don't need a lab. They can do it on the spot in the field and really amplify and augment their workforce and of course their ability to provide healthcare and health to the population. And with this, I will conclude, and I wish the winners really amazing projects. And again, thank you, and hope that through AI will make the earth prosper again.
Thank you so much, Tomer. And those are some incredible examples of using tech for good, and specifically AI for social environmental impact. Next up, I'd like to invite Boris Balick, Global Head Enterprise Modernization at MongoDB.
Hello, Sahar. So obviously it's very hard. I'm standing between you and the winner announcement. It's just like the teacher before lunchtime. It's really, really hard. So I try to make it short on my presentation here. Very, very simple. When we take a look at data, so I'm a data dude, and obviously COVID hit us as well. A lot of our teams lost family members, so did I. So it's not an easy time, but when it started, beginning of 2020, we started immediately basically giving out free resources to people to build information and mostly information platforms in multiple environments around that one. So there are still options if you're working on something and you just would like to get access to a bigger system. Please ping us on the following blog post. There's a nice link in the contact. We're still giving out grants to people to do things, partially larger ones, smaller ones, not as big as Microsoft. We're a small startup. But basically the most famous one is actually John Hopkins application. If you wonder how difficult it is to build something like that, this is actually an Azure front end with geospatial data, mashing up the data on MongoDB with the technical background information on obviously the incoming data and case numbers. And behind that front end are a lot of more detailed information. If you're interested to learn a little bit more about that one, I'm happy to share the links on that one. But why is MongoDB so for that one? So can I not do this with any other system? So we believe on one side, we have the classical functions from a relational database. So the people who come out of the classical database world. So I'm dating myself out of the 80s. And they like that stuff. They get the query language, their assets, and on the other side, the scalability and the idiomatic drivers. So you can prototype an application within a minute. That's legit. And when you take a look to ML environments like we discussed here, data historically came slow, but now they become faster and faster. And the faster data get, the more volume I build, the more signals I get, the more interpretation in my MLOps pipeline I need to do in real time. So suddenly data becomes a matter it's not good enough to have them somewhere. They need to be actionable, available, and you want to make decisions about that one. So what we are focusing on, and this is something what you saw, so you realize probably I'm the hardcore techie here. My slides are not so colorful. But when you take a look, we have really the capabilities to get data in real-time streams in the systems, or over services, over Mach architectures, or existing systems as well. But the key part is, together with Iguazio, we're building out feature store capabilities inside MongoDB and Iguazio, which then replicate out into the actual modeling and into the infrastructure. Then one may ask, oh my God, this must be really hard. Half an hour and you're done. So, and this looks and comes home to something like this. You have on the left side so-called trigger actions, point of sale, e-commerce, choose your poison. It can be medical data, it can be medical sensors. We're working on multiple projects there. And we have the in-house services as well as the connection to a really full-fledged MLOps engine with Iguazio to really build this out as one in the cloud on premises into the following up application. So this is really easy, and I try to project a little bit here. It is not hard, and it's available for free. And the output as well is very easy. It can be done with a timestamp in a website or other functions. We saw so many amazing examples. I love the triage one. I admit, I root for you girls that you guys get the prize. And then how do I learn this one if I want to learn more? There's a free link to universitymongodb.com I can really suggest. We have all the classes there. You can just go there, try them out. If you're an experienced person and have your background, or you start data from scratch. So I had people starting there and within 3 days becoming really data experts. So this is an example of one of the early cases where we were asked by a government in the Middle East, so the UAE, to build a tracking application to approve contact tracing and to route this one via an SMA system. This application was done in 2 days. 2 days, end-to-end, to go live, and scaled from some thousand test license to multiple millions SMS and applications by day. So MongoDB is available for free. So a lot of people wonder, like, are you guys really open source? Are you guys still really? Yes, we are. And if you look up and you want to do something with our friends from Microsoft and Azure, we have that one as well available. You can do 100 database, 500 collection, 500 connections, half a gigabytes of disk. It's good enough to start anything small. As you saw, we're doing a lot of sponsorships for COVID apps and in the medical space. So just ping us, and we're normally pretty easy to work with. And we're very happy to give people free grants. And if you're a startup, there's a lot of startups utilizing us as well, not only in the medical space, but pretty much all across the board. They love the scalability and the run anywhere and the iteration level. But the key thing, what they love most is we help them to start from getting access to the platform for free. They get free credits. This can be quite substantial. I saw some serious amounts from some startups. We get additional people assigned. So there are folks like me, all dinosaurs lurking around trying to help you. And then obviously all our developer ecosystems. We hit this month 10 million downloads a month. That's pretty cool. So we have 120 million downloads coming, rolling next 12 months probably. So check this one out. We have really good access to that one. And see, guys, I'm fast and I'm smart enough to finish fast. So I'm handing back over to Sahar, who will talk about the actually winners. Good luck, everybody.
Thanks so much, Boris. And this is cool. So much free stuff for everyone. The COVID-19 data dashboard is also incredible. We use it all the time. I didn't realize it's MongoDB behind the scenes. That's really wonderful. So now, the moment everyone's been waiting for, we're about to announce the winners. Before I hand it over to Yaron, just a small correction. There were 2 brain tumor detection app projects submitted to the hackathon. So the one that we demoed earlier was not by team Visual Velocity. It was submitted by Amit Sharma. So apologies for that. And now I will hand it over to Yaron to announce the winners.
So thanks, Sahar. So we spoke about the 3 projects that did get sort of a voucher for MongoDB. As to the winners, 3rd place was project Deepfake that we've seen. the ability to detect between fake pictures versus real pictures. The second project number, second place, is the suicidal post detection project. And the first project, which was the most extensive because it did almost everything we sort of asked for in the points. They had multiple models, they had full pipelines. They even did, you've seen part of the work they've done with GitHub Actions to incorporate CI/CD into their pipeline, is the AI Wonder Girls project. I think beyond being sort of also for good and the application being an ICU operations application, the fact that we had such a diverse team from so many countries and a lot of women in the field, I think is another sort of bonus point for the team. And we're very glad that their work and how they achieved what they've done here. So with that, back to you, Sahar.
Congratulations to the winning teams. We have a short acceptance speech, so let's hear from the winners.
Good evening all. We, the AI Wonder Girls team, are extremely honored in receiving the recognition for our efforts in building the AI for Healthcare project. We are thankful to Iguazio for giving us the opportunity to build our ideas on MLRun, the MLOps platform. Thanks to Gilad Shaham and the team for providing us the support and motivation during the hackathon. Once again, thank the jury and Iguazio team for creating this forum in encouraging the budding entrepreneurs showcase their ideas. Thank you.
So congratulations again to all the teams, both the winners and everyone that submitted the projects. These were super innovative and incredible projects. A lot of time and effort was put into them, and we really appreciate everyone that took part and submitted. At this time, I'd also like to thank our wonderful partners, Microsoft and MongoDB, for all their support of this hackathon. We really couldn't have done this without you. And thank you to our speakers, Tumor and Boris, for being with us today. I'd also like to thank the 12 incredible communities that joined our cause, the Toronto Machine Learning Society, ODSC, Data Science Salon, the Data Talks Club, the AI Camp community, the AI Infrastructure Alliance, MDLI, Jerusalem, Kinneret Innovation Center, Data Science Initiative, SF Big Analytics, and Data for Good. You are all amazing. It was so wonderful collaborating on this with you. To all of the team that worked behind the scenes here, Gilad, who was mentioned by the women who just accepted the prize, and everyone else, thank you for working so hard on this hackathon behind the scenes. And finally, to all of you for joining us live here today. It was great having this session and being able to share all of these amazing projects with you and to celebrate all the great work that was put into this hackathon together with all of you. We hope to see you all in our community and to continue working together to use tech for good. And again, thank you to our judges who collaborated and contributed so much of their time and effort to review all the projects and to help us along with this hackathon. So with that, I'd just like to thank you all and hope you enjoyed this award ceremony today.